South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hi there and welcome to Headliners. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Nearly a month after historic flooding ravaged much of Fort Lauderdale, dozens of Broward residents and business owners are still struggling to recover. Now, FEMA is back in Fort Lauderdale to offer a helping hand. The Small Business Administration is also hoping to help. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray is in Fort Lauderdale with how both organizations are managing to do just that.
Warehouse space, now office space at Nationwide Battery. Waist deep in water a month ago after that record-breaking rainfall and flooding. Owner Pedro Garcia says he has about $70,000 in physical damage, much more when it comes to sales. They could barely operate for weeks.
When I say everything is everything, if you go inside, all the furniture, all the electronics, the server, all the system, everything was underwater. Even my wife's desk was underwater.
Garcia said he's applying for a Small Business Administration loan. SBA reps have arrived in Broward and are rolling out their program, not just for businesses, but homeowners who were flooded out April 12th.
But about 80% of our lending goes to homeowners and renters. We're the only federal agency that can tackle businesses, private nonprofits, renters, and homeowners alike.
Homeowners with flood damage can borrow up to $200,000 at 2.3%. Businesses can borrow up to $2 million at 4%, payable over 30 years. You can get more information on SBA loans and FEMA grants at their disaster recovery center that's now opened at Hort Park in Fort Lauderdale. Hundreds of families are grinding it out, trying to make their homes livable again, and FEMA said they aren't leaving anytime soon.
We have people in Florida now because of Hurricane Ian who've been here for months. So we would expect to be here for a number of months helping people in Broward County.
So FEMA not going anywhere, the SBA not going anywhere. You can get all the information you need in person here at Hort Park, that is in Fort Lauderdale. It's located off of Davie Boulevard, east of 95. They will be open every day, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. In Fort Lauderdale, Joan Murray, CBS News, Miami.
From the school scare that went viral to the mass shooting in Texas, there's a lot of anxiety surrounding how to prepare and cope with these types of situations. And we want to help you address them as part of our commitment to covering the matters surrounding mental health. CBS News Miami's Chelsea Jones talked to the experts about the best ways to help yourself and your loved ones feel safe in public.
From school to the grocery store to the shopping mall, places of leisure have become targets of gun violence. The mental impact reaching those as small as elementary school children.
The question becomes, when is that anxiety really impacting mental and emotional wellness?
NAMI Miami is a resource. They have programs like Ending the Silence that goes into schools.
We talk to them about identifying these signs that go beyond normal anxiety and go beyond normal fears.
But for parents who have to face the tough questions from your kids, what can you do? One expert says be honest and assess risk versus reward when deciding if it's safe.
Adults don't rob their children the opportunity for their children to socialize with other kids, to develop the social emotional skills needed to function in everyday society.
But as we've seen time and time again, active shooter situations happen in an instant. The preparation for that possibility starts in the parking lot. Former FBI Special Agent Stuart Kaplan says, don't be caught without a plan. Take a mental note of the exits in the places you frequent the most. And if you find yourself in the thick of an active shooter situation,
if you can get to the person's eyes and disorient him or take away his vision or his sight line, that can be very helpful. Anything to distract him, anything to get time on your side to either escape
or buy time for law enforcement to step in. Chelsea Jones, CBS News, Miami.
Amid the recent gun violence across the country and here in South Florida, a new exhibit is now on display. It's spearheaded by South Florida mothers who lost their children to gun violence. CBS News Miami's Nicole Lauren joins us with a closer look at the We the Mothers Miami exhibit and its powerful message.
My son, Michael, was killed at the age of 18. I still remember the call like it was yesterday. He once shared 29 years with me. I am grateful for that.
These are the faces of women who had to endure the unthinkable, the devastating loss of a child.
But it's been so hard having to watch his children grow without the physical love and presence of their father.
Each of their faces, their stories captured in these portraits, now hung on this fence here in Brickell surrounding Southside Park.
I didn't want to be a mother that just sit around and just say I lost a son and just give up on life because I had other kids to fight for. I have other mothers to fight for. I have other communities to fight for.
The photographer is Kathy Shore, who travels from city to city, capturing heart-wrenching photos of people who survived gun violence or the families of those who didn't.
When somebody gets shot, they don't just die. That's the end of them, but the beginning of the pain of the people that are standing here.
And that pain is felt through these images.
My son couldn't get out the chair fast enough, and the bullet struck him in the heart. And my son died in my arms.
But rather than sit back and just grieve, these mothers are now turning their pain into purpose.
We need to make a change immediately, because if not, it could be one of your children.
Nicole Lawrence, CBS News, Miami.
When Headliners returns, we know how to prepare for big weather events, but what about preparing our pets? What you need to know to keep them safe ahead of hurricane season, next.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. May is National Water Safety Month, and one mother is making it her mission to help prevent accidental drownings. CBS News Miami's Terry Hornstein explains what this mom wants everyone to know.
That was one of our family's favorite activities to do, is just spend time in and around the water.
Casey McGovern remembers time with her 19-month-old daughter, Edna Mae, fondly. Memories and pictures, all the family has left of their blue-eyed baby girl, who drowned in the family pool back in 2009.
I caught the glimpse of my baby girl floating in our pool, and my world stopped.
Casey was putting groceries away when Edna Mae slipped out of the house. It was only a matter of minutes, but the toddler would lose her life.
I made her promise that I would do everything in my power until my last breath to make a difference and help other families never experience that same heartache.
In 2021, Florida passed the Every Child a Swimmer law. The law states parents of each child entering into kindergarten should be asked by their school if their child knows how to swim. If the answer is no, the school is required to give parents information about water safety and resources. Casey says she's thrilled the law passed, but the work now is enforcing it because she says education is key.
Between our Tri-County area, we have probably the highest drowning rate in the state. And this information is not being shared. And so we need more schools to participate. We need more schools to be sharing this information, and we will help them do that.
Casey says she hopes more parents start asking about the resources so they can get the information they need so no family goes through the heartache hers did.
It's just that conversation. It's that awareness. It's that education that we need so desperately.
Terry Hornstein, CBS News, Miami.
We're now just 2 weeks away from hurricane season, and we are committed to finding ways to keep you and your family safe. Last week, we talked about hurricane prep for humans, but what about our family members with 4 legs? CBS News Miami's Gabriela Arzola breaks down what every pet parent needs to know.
This is my dog named Ziggy, and if I had to pack for him, I'd say it would take about 10 minutes. The medicine is in the cabinet, his food's in the fridge, but in the time of an emergency, there's no time to think. So that's where this comes in.
A disaster can strike at any time. The record flooding in Fort Lauderdale last month led to many pet parents scrambling, and who could blame them? Their homes flooded within a few hours. And while we were there, we saw people walking into high water with their senior dogs in hand, and some couldn't even find their pets.
Everything's floating. I went back to feed my cats, and I can't find one of them, so one didn't make it.
No doubt these moments are incredibly stressful.
The animals are going to be just as scared as the people when we have hurricanes and flooding.
Dr. Carlos Jorge Canino is a vet at Doral Veterinary Care, and he says every pet parent should have an emergency bag. But how do you make one?
Okay, so this is all about being mobile. So the first thing you need is at least 2 weeks of your pet's medication. Also, don't forget vaccinations, including microchip information. Then you need emergency food and, of course, your pet's first aid kit.
Anywhere above ground, because when you get flooding, everything on the bottom is going to get wet. Put it in a waterproof Ziploc bag, and then just you're ready to take it to go.
Of course, you can ask your vet on what you could pack, but for more information, you can head over to our website at cbsmiami.com. I'm Gabrielle Arzola, CBS News, Miami.
Still ahead on Headliners, it takes a village, how a South Florida program gave a homeless mother keys to a new life.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Now to this week's edition of Miami Proud. When this year's class of graduating seniors leaves G. Holmes Braddock Senior High School, at least one of those students will leave behind quite a legacy. Aside from her excellence in academics, this Kendall teen's service to the community and work to improve the world around her is making Miami proud. CBS News Miami's Maribel Rodriguez has that story.
Students collect, stock, and donate all these food items to kids and families in need of assistance. This pantry at G. Holmes Braddock High School was started by graduating senior Celine Churchman.
We have clothes, we have school supplies.
It began during the 2020 COVID era. Celine used her time organizing food drives and recruiting students to earn service hours.
More and more kids started finding out and they started messaging me. And we, at the end of distributions, had over hundreds of kids coming out to support us, donating. And those friendships, I still am very close to the kids that I started with.
She founded a nonprofit called 7 Helping Hands and ran with it. Once back at school, she discovered an unused space and took it over, growing the efforts through the Key Club Service Organization and roping other schools in.
All of the items in this room are donated from Key Clubbers from Doral, St. Brendan, Columbus, Belen, as well as we would host on Saturdays different drives with different local nonprofits.
From their Instagram site and referrals, families in need can count on food, supplies, and even school uniforms.
We could use some more jeans, some more polos, and it's just a good way to help.
With a graduating grade point average of 4.6, it's no surprise Celine is both resourceful and determined to maximize the pantry's success.
Even though I'll email some companies and they'll tell me no, I just know that those 5 companies who said no, it's going to open the door to 5 more who say yes.
And what she's been able to accomplish is just mind-boggling. And this is just one example with the 7 Helping Hands.
Celine's list of involvement, achievements, and scholarships is impressive. She also plays golf and softball, and she's a nominee for a Silver Knight Award in journalism. She will leave the pantry to the next senior class as she heads to Davidson College this fall.
And I'm going to be studying political science on a pre-law track with a minor in international relations.
Maribel Rodriguez, CBS News, Miami.
And finally, a South Florida woman receiving the gift of a lifetime. This after suffering an unbearable loss, losing her son to a drive-by shooting. Now, a community group is stepping in to help turn her pain into purpose. CBS News Miami's Jacqueline Quinn has the story.
We didn't have things around here that looked like this.
David Gause and his business partner grew up in Brownsville, a historically black neighborhood.
I'd rather to glorify the love and the happy moments of us growing up in this neighborhood. You know, it actually builds character.
That's not to say there weren't challenges. We know by looking at the median income of Brownsville, according to the Census Bureau, an estimated 36% of the people there live in poverty, 20% higher than the county. That's why creating generational wealth is a big deal.
And a lot of times people just put stucco on the wall, but we try to be creative.
So for the two, this is their chance to change the landscape of their neighborhood.
They build like regular plain houses, and then they come stop by our house and be like, oh, you know, you don't have to do so much.
They say the homes are a little extra on the inside.
Make sure we have porcelain tile all the way up on the top.
But this 3-bedroom house is well within the price range of the neighborhood.
This was an infill lot, and there were a lot of them here. We were given those lots for $1,000 each, to tell you the truth. The county let us buy them. We took them and we built houses on them. We took out the loans, we did the construction loan, we found the builders.
Through a program by the Collective Empowerment Group of South Florida and financing from Florida Community Loan Fund, they're making home ownership possible for those who otherwise couldn't afford it.
That's all we want to do, keep people in this neighborhood healthy and not lose it to gentrification.
Robert Joaquin Willis runs CEG. He tells us the home is being sold to a woman who lost her son to a drive-by shooting. She struggled after his death and became homeless. That's part of the reason why she doesn't want to be identified, but she's now turned her life around. Still, home ownership was far from grasp until this program.
But trust me, we are doing something for somebody who really needs it. And she's going in with equity because she's got subsidy after doing home buyer certification training. So we're helping our families learn how to manage money, how to balance budgets, and be ready to own.
The group has 28 lots altogether. They're working with groups like Level 1 Construction to build and finance affordable homes.
But by you having ownership, now you're going to be more concerned about what's happening right out your front door.
And they say by building and helping people into these homes, the coalition hopes to build an even stronger village. In Brownsville, I'm Jacqueline Quinn, CBS News, Miami.
Thanks for joining us this half hour on Headliners. As always, keep it right here to CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great one.